Painkiller Ghosts, Chapter 18, You Can Go Home Again. Now it's now, and this is how it is. She's at home. At least that's what she's calling it. This place is hers now. This place where not 4 months ago she was a stranger, and now she's the owner. The owner of a place with a curse, she's sure. It isn't really mine, she tells herself, but I guess it's no one else's either. Chastity has taken Time's stolen and broken camera upstairs and put it in the library. Time's busted camera is on the desk. The lens cap is missing. The lens is shattered. She's in a new house, her first house. This is like an empty orphanage to her. Again, a place to live, a place that somehow just became home. In the library, she looks around the shelves, books lining most of the room. Books, her library. The books are arranged alphabetically, more or less. She places a little less, some places a little less, some places a little more. She's glancing through the E's. She reaches and pulls out a thin paperback. Time's Passing, Suzanne Exler. The book was published 12 years ago. She knows because she opened the book and looked around trying to find a picture of the woman to see, just in case, if it was the same one she saw in the hospital today. What are the chances, she asks herself, what are the chances? She takes the book and holds it at her side and finishes looking through the books all the way to Z. And then goes to the desk and starts looking through the drawers. Paid phone bills, a 5-year-old porno magazine, blue pens and broken pencils, photographs of people she doesn't know. In the stationery box, though, she found not writing paper, but rolling paper and a large bag of marijuana. She smells it and smiles. She takes that from the drawer and puts it on the desk. She's still in just a t-shirt. She rolls a joint, then finds some pants, puts them on, and grabs a new blue bag, one she shoplifted after throwing her old one in the park. She walks out the door. On the front stoop, she puts on her shoes. She's got the joint lodged behind her ear and a sweater on. She ties her shoes and walks to the brick steps and then the sidewalk. There are leaves that need to be raked, and she doesn't know if she has a rake or not, or lawn bags. The neighborhood is quiet. No dogs barking, no cars passing. Chastity has noticed that this neighborhood is a cemetery. It's dead. She smiles when she realizes that the leaf blower, the one that has been constantly screaming, is silent. She goes out to the end of the sidewalk, looks both directions, and takes off walking to find a new place, a place she's never been before, just to be somewhere new today, just to see somewhere different. She has the book by Suzanne Exler in her purse. Now it's now, and this is how it is. Time, tonight being no different from any other, is out walking. The dog, a collar jingle sound, is just a few paces behind him. And being no different tonight than any other night, he's got the camera slung around his neck. It's days like this he likes having a beard, days that are a bit cold, but not too cold yet. He doesn't have to wear a jacket, or shoes for that matter, because his beard keeps him warm. That's what he tells himself, at least. Over the past couple of weeks, Time has kept looking at the photos that he had taken before he was shot. The photo with the person on the roof bothered him. He's walking on dead leaves. He's walking with his camera, and finally he gets there, to the house. Whose house it is, he can't say, but he's there. And he's looking at the front windows, the 2 dormer windows upstairs, and it's quiet, and the same car is in the same place that it's been every time, and he thinks it must be frozen there somehow, a statue of a car perhaps. And the house is quiet, like all the others around here, dead. He stands in front of the house, Chastity's house, and he takes a photo. Then he walks up to the driveway, stepping on leaves the whole way, and he walks up to the sidewalk, and he finds himself in the brick stairs that Chastity was just tying her shoes on, and he rings the doorbell. He doesn't know why, but he rings the doorbell and he knocks on the door, and after 1 minute, then 2, he turns around, walking back down the brick steps, back down the sidewalk and driveway. In the street, he looks both ways. There are still no signs of life anywhere. He strokes his beard and walks down the road the way he came, barefoot on crushed leaves, 4 paws silently following behind him. Now it's now, and this is how it is. Stan Thimble and his broken nose sit, sore, swollen, thinking about the job that he lost, chasing codeine pills with a gin and tonic. He doesn't miss his job. He hated that place anyway, he says to himself, and he's not lying to himself either. He liked the money, liked the fact the office wasn't too far away from the university, especially in spring with the co-eds, but he hated the place. He didn't read the online downloadable magazine he worked for. He hated his co-workers. He thought most of them were idiots, and all the others he wanted nothing to do with. But he always wanted something from Suzanne. One thing he didn't call her is Mama Exler. He called her things he hadn't said aloud in years. With her was the first and only time he did it on the kitchen counter, on a first date at that, and he won't forget that. His ex-wife, the bore, would never do it in the kitchen, or on the floor for that matter. With her, his ex-wife, it was always the same. He doesn't miss her, and if he never saw her again, the better. He doesn't mind that he lost his job. He had money in the bank, but his nose, would his nose ever be the same again? He couldn't believe the insult to injury here. First, Suzanne avoids him, and then she sends some madman to bash his nose in, and with a rolling pin of all things, a wooden rolling pin. He couldn't believe it. He was there at his desk one minute and had a smashed and broken nose the next minute. Sure, he put up a few photos of her, but who cares? Men like seeing that sort of thing. All he did was put up a few photos. She didn't have to send some Vinnie No-Neck in to crush his nose. And a rolling pin? Was the lunatic at home making cookies when Suzanne told him to go kill someone? He couldn't figure it out. But he knows that she was the cause of this. She was the cause of this. She was the cause of his nose being smashed. What did he ever do to hurt her? He didn't hurt her at all. But her time was going to come. He just knew it.